Philip Neri was born in Florence on 21 July 1515 to Francesco Neri, a lawyer, and Lucrezia di Mosciano, whose family was of noble birth. At an early age, Philip studied with the Dominicans at San Marco, but at age 18 he was apprenticed to his wealthy uncle's mercantile business. It was not long before Philip tired of such a materialistic lifestyle, and by 1533 left for Rome, first becoming a tutor, and later he began working with the poor. His jovial wit and caring nature led him to the streets of Rome, caring for the sinner and the unfortunate, earning him the sobriquet, the Apostle of Rome. Philip lived in Rome for about 18 years as a layman, finally being ordained a priest in 1551. Philip Neri is perhaps best known for the religious congregation he founded, known as the Oratory, in which he gathered priests for prayer, study, and community life. Philip Neri died in 1595 and was canonized a few years later in 1622. In this Garcom, San Sebastiano, a few days before Pentecost in 1544, the well-known miracle of his heart took place. Bacci describes it thus: "While he was with the greatest earnestness asking of the Holy Ghost his gifts, there appeared to him a globe of fire, which entered into his mouth and lodged in his breast. And thereupon he was suddenly surprised with such a fire of love, that unable to bear it, he threw himself on the ground, and like one trying to cool himself, bared his breast to temper in some measure the flame which he felt. When he had remained so for some time, and was a little recovered, he rose up, full of unwonted joy. And immediately all his body began to shake with a violent tremor, and putting his hand to his bosom, he felt by the side of his heart a swelling about as big as a man's fist. But neither then nor afterwards was it attended with the slightest pain or wound." St. Philip Neri, Catholic Encyclopedia, 1917. Memo of Philip Neri to Pope Clement VIII. Holiest Father, because I need a little bit of manna in some leaves, the said Cardinal of Florence had 2 ounces from San Spirito fetched to me, the Cardinal having sent a large quantity of it to that hospital. He also stayed with me 2 hours into the night, and said so much good of your holiness, much more than seemed to me warranted. For as you are Pope, you should be humility itself. Christ came at 7 o'clock in the night to incorporate himself with me, and your holiness might surely also once come to our church. Christ is man and God, and visits me frequently. Your Highness is but a mere man, born of a holy and upright man. He, however, of God the Father. The mother of your Holiness is Signora Agnasina, a very God-fearing lady, but his the Virgin of all virgins. What had I not all to tell you, if I were to give free vent to my gall?" In Goethe's Travels in Italy, 1883. 9. We must accept the adversities which God sends us, without reasoning too much upon them. We must take for granted that it is the best thing which could happen to us. 10. We must always remember that God does everything well, although we may not see the reason of what he does. February. If a man finds it very hard to forgive injuries, let him look at a crucifix and think that Christ has shed all his blood for him, and not only forgave his enemies, but prayed the Eternal Father to forgive them also. 2. Let him remember also that when he prays the Pater Noster every day, instead of asking pardon for his sins, he is calling down vengeance upon them. May. Maxims and Sayings of St. Philip Neri, F. W. Faber, 1847. 8. Fathers and mothers of families should bring up their children virtuously, looking at them rather as God's children than their own, and to count life and health and all they possess as loans which they hold of God. 10. To make ourselves disaffected to the things of the world, is a good thing to think seriously of the end of them, saying to ourselves, and then. 17. We must accept our own death and that of our relations when God shall send it to us, and not desire it at any other time. For it is sometimes necessary that it should happen at that particular moment for the good of our own and their souls. October. 3. Give me 10 men really detached from the world, and I have the heart to believe I could convert the world with them. December. Maxims and Sayings of St. Philip Neri, F.W. Favor, 1847. Spiritual persons are wont to have first sweetness, then bitterness. Lay aside then this stupidity of yours. Drop the mask. Take hold of the cross, and let not the cross take hold of you. St. Philip Neri, Letter to Francesco Vai, November 1556. I thank you for it, and as the ship which has a sufficient depth of water sails more securely through it as it plows its way along, so also I am persuaded that by the sacrifices and prayers of a number of persons I shall arrive more happily and easily at the port of life eternal, when it shall please the Lord to call me. St. Philip Neri, Letter to Giovanelle a Cina, May 1591.